Hey everybody. In today's episode, I want to talk about how to set a budget for your ad spend and what 4 critical numbers that you need to know in order to do that. Now, a lot of business owners come to me and they go, Nick, where do I spend my money? Where do I, put it into? What platform do I put it into? And, there's that question's kind of how long is a piece of string, but you need to start somewhere, right? And a lot of people, unfortunately, are really in the dark where it comes to that. They work with an agency and the agency says, spend $10 a day and that's how it is, or spend $50 a day, or spend, $500 a day, whatever it may be. But the truth of the matter is that you need to really understand and have a base on where you can build from and go from there. Now, here's the best way that I like to calculate it. There's 4 critical numbers that you need to know. Number 1 is what's your client life value? In other words, how much is that client spending with you over a given period of time? So let's say, the client spends $10,000 with you and there's 50% in profit, right? That means there's, $5,000 in net profit. That client life, value is $5,000. Now, maybe they're buying off you once a year. Maybe they're buying off you once every 3 years. But they buy off you over, let's say, a 9 or 10 year period. That's 3 purchases of the 5,000, which effectively the client life value is $15,000 over that given period of time, right? So it's important to understand that. The next thing is client life cycle. How many times is that client buying from you? And the reason you want to know this is if you can increase that client life cycle by them buying off you for longer or more times, well, guess what? You've just increased the value of the client. So you need to know that. The next one is what's called client acquisition cost. So, how much are you prepared to spend to acquire that client, right? And then the last one, which I'm going to kind of explain to both of these, the last one is client conversion rate. So how many people do you need to speak to in order for you to convert into one client? So let's talk about those 2 figures. So let's say if the client life value is 10,000, the client life cycle is, 2, so that's 20,000 with a 50% profit. That's $10,000 over the 2 years. And let's say the client, conversion rate is 1 out of 4. That's a 25% conversion rate. Now, if the client is spending $20,000 with you and you make $10,000, surely you'd be happy to spend $1,000 acquiring that client. Because why? It's 10 times the return on that investment. 5 times year 1, 5 times year 2. It's pretty amazing, right? So here's how it works. If you said, hey, Nick, I make $20,000 off a client with $10,000 profit, and I said, hey, I've got a client for you here ready to go, but I want $1,000, more than likely you'd say yes, because it's a good return on that investment. So do you see, you've got to calculate that. Now, if you're talking $1,000 for a conversion, that means you've got what? 4 clients that you need to speak to, right? At 25% conversion. So you're effectively able to spend $250 each person in order to acquire that client. Now, $250 per person in lead generation is a significant amount of money, but you see now you can afford to understand how many clients you want to do. So let's say if you want to bring on 10 clients for the year, you need to spend $10,000 to get those clients at $1,000 each person. So do you see now you've got the ability to understand. Now, in order for you to get 10, guess what? You need to have 40 people opt in or, reach out to you or, connect with you, because it's a 25% conversion. Sound good? So let me just go through those again. So anytime that you're about to spend money on advertising, have this formula ready. Number 1, client life value. How much will your client spend with you over a given period of time? Number 2, client life cycle. How many times will they purchase, or for how long will they be with you for? Number 3, client acquisition cost. How much are you prepared to spend on that? Number 4, client conversion rate, right? How many people do you need to speak to in order to do it? So now you've got a formula, you can go ahead and get that done. Now, if you need help with lead generation, with marketing, with setting up the right avatar, with ads, we've got a whole business Go agency that I operate and run, that literally that's what we do for our clients. We do YouTube ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, LinkedIn, Instagram. We build pages, we've got video guys, all of that stuff's there. So anytime you need help, just let us know. Sound good? If you need some help, you know where to reach me. I'm Nick Sala. Remember, the only way is